Okay, so A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We have been discussing about the noun. If you remember, Farhan Shafi or Safa Jangid, we are talking about the noun, and I'm just summarizing it for Ryan and other two participants who are not here in our first two class. So we are talking about the importance of noun. And we said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam all the names, including the names of Ryan, Farhan Shafi. Can you imagine? Adam knew my name, Nazrul Islam. So whatever name comes at the last day of the earth, Adam was taught. All the names were taught to Adam. Therefore, all the names are there. So why names are important, as we discussed in our previous lecture, that names is the fundamental means of communication, and you don't need to use any other stuff. If you just start mention the name of a person, place, or things, that gives us a big picture. And we discuss about the one of the name like Abdullah Rashid, for example. In this case, we can talk about the Ryan. If I say Ryan, he's a boy, he lives in Dinia Center, near Dinia Center. He is going to. So only one name can give you lots of information. And then we talk about out of all the names, Adam was also taught about the names of Allah. And for us, it is better to start with the names of Allah, to know the names of Allah. So as I said, if you say Ryan, so many things comes to your mind. So when you mention the names of Allah, do you feel that way? There's so many things are coming to your mind. That is the way you can recognize, you can
No.
talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with full concentration if you know what is the meaning of the name. So that was our first halaka, and then subsequent halaka we mentioned about the names of some of the names that are unique to Allah. For example, Qul huwallahu ahad. Ahad, Allah is unique. Allahus samad. Lam yalid alam yulad alam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. These names, we have no scope to discuss it. These are the unique names of Allah. Same way, if you go to Ayatul Kursi, then you will find the several names that are not comparable with any creations of Allah. So that was the name that we discussed on our second halaka as why noun is so important. Now today, I want to start with some measurement. As we can see here, okay, as you can see, there is a tall guy next to me. Anybody knows this guy?
I don't know.
Right, Ryan, you know this guy?
No.
Hey, man, it's it's a famous basketball player. He was in
Oh,
the basketball player. He came to ICNA convention. I was there. And you see, in order to measure my height, I have to use the scale, right? And I'm around 6 feet. I believe this guy is about 14 feet, you think? No, 6, 3, 9, maybe 10 feet. So that guy is almost 10 feet higher than me. So what I'm saying, so we need this kind of tape measurement to measure our height. Same way you can come for the weight like pound, kilo, and so on. So one of the way we can measure the height of the people or height of anything by using the tape measurement. Now I'm going to ask Safat Jahangir, how do you measure the distance between moon and the earth? Do you have any idea? How do you measure it? Ryan? No. Okay.
No.
So it's simple, very simple. You shoot a laser. The laser will go to the hit the sun, moon, and it will come back. So you just divide the uh, distance traveled by this laser. It will give you a distance from from Earth to the moon. Now the problem with the sun. Sun has no reflection. So how do you measure the distance of moon from the sun or from Earth to the sun? Any idea? Safa Jangit?
We can use the Pythagoras' theorem
Right.
because we know the
Very good.
distance.
Very
We know
good.
the distance between the sun, sorry, the Earth and the moon, and then we can use that, put that in Pythagoras' theorem, and we can calculate the distance between the Earth and the.
So we can measure the light distance from sun to the moon, and then also we knew the distance from moon to the earth. Therefore, if you use the formula Pythagoras, we can say the distance between sun and moon. So these are the things that people are using for measurement. So I'm going to ask Ryan. Ryan, how are you going to measure the universe?
What?
Universe. Can you measure the universe?
Uh, maybe.
Yes. Let me show you how to measure the universe. Universe is measured by a person called, his name is Hubble. Hubble first discovered that the universe is expanding, which is a very similar verse in Quran. Quran says the universe is expanding. Therefore, you cannot absolutely measure the universe, but you can measure it. You can measure the origin of the earth by measuring the rate of expansion, which they call the Big Bang. You know, the scientists are calling this Big Bang. There is no contradiction with these things, but if something is expanding continuously, there is no way you can measure it, right? Safa Jahangir, if I have a rubber band, I'm pulling it from two sides. You cannot say this is the length of the rubber band, right? Safa Jahangir, I'm continuously pulling it. So there is no way you can measure the weight of the universe. So if you cannot measure something, we say it is too big to measure. Ryan, make sense? So if I ask you, Safat
Yeah.
Jahangir, how big is too big? Safat Jahangir?
When we say something is too big, that means it's so big we can't even measure it.
Very good. And the same way, how small is too small? It is too small, we cannot measure it. So you cannot go beyond this definition. How big is too big? It is impossible to measure. How small is too small? It is impossible to measure. So I'm saying these are the knowledge given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the revealed knowledge. There are some other dimension of the universe that is yet to be revealed. Everybody knows it, right? Whatever Big Bang, thousands of galaxies, whatever you see, it was within the same sky. There are 7 skies that we know. According to our narration, there are 7 skies. So we are struggling to get the knowledge about the first part of the sky. And then there are 6 more sky on the top of it. According to our narration, the second sky is like a ring on the desert. Big desert, there is small ring. So this is the way we call it Al Amin. So the point here I'm trying to make, boys, when you are asking about the names of something, it is not important to know the names of Allah before knowing any names, isn't it? So if you think this one, the which name comes first? I'm saying that this is the Alamin. So which name should come? Which name of Allah should come to define Al-Amin? What is it?
Rabb.
Rabb. How do you know? Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Alamin.
Very good. So the whole, Alamin, we know he is our Rabb. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. So one of the guy, scientist, it is impossible to show the whole things, but he did draw something here that I was trying to show you. I thought it is better to show you as well. So these are the space of this samawat. 7 skies are here, and Jannat is other side, and Araf, you see, then Arsh, and then Rayyan, and you see Ilin and Sijil, and so on. So the whole universe in the name Al-Amin, the name that comes first, it is the Rabb. So he's the Rabb of Al-Amin. Again, Rabb itself does not give you a big meaning. Okay, let us see what happened to the other names of Rabb. Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. What it means? He is the Rabb of Nas. So you can say he's the creator of Nas, right? So creator is coming here. Rabbul Alamin, you can say creator. Qul a'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq. He also the Rabb of the sunrise. So again, it looks like all these names are directing to the creator. Al-Khaliq. And then Fasalli bi Rabbika wanhar. There are many verses. Alam tara kaifa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashabil fil. So it looks like he was controlling it. He was controlling the bil fil bi ashabil fil. Anyway, so this is the way you can find the actual meaning of Rabb throughout the Quran, and Rabb mentioned more than any other names in the Quran. Rabb, I believe I gave you the statistics. Rabb mentioned many times than any other name of Allah. So if you summarize these, what we see, there are 3 names of Allah that can be encompassed are Rabb. One is Al-Khaliq. He is the creator. Remember, he is not only creator, he is the creator. And you see how big the universe is. And you saw how the 7 skies are. So if you consider all the things, he is the creator. He can create only like something like this. And then also another name that comes through these verses, as you see, Al-Malik. Qul a'udhu bi Rabbin Nas. Malikin Nas. You see, he's the Malik. And then third also comes under the umbrella of Ar-Rabb, which is Al-Mudabbir, the controller. Safar Jangir, you are with me? Uncle? Can you hear me, Safar Jangir?
Yeah.
Very good. Tell me the 3 names that comes under the names Ar-Rabb. One is the
Al-Khaliq, which can be the creator, or Al-Malik, or Al-Malik, the owner,
Yeah.
and Al-Mudabbir, the controller.
The controller. So there are 3 names. Remember, we are learning the Rabb today. Within the Rabb, 3 other names. One is Al-Khaliq, Al-Malik, Al-Mudabbir. In order to explain you Al-Khaliq and Al-Malik, I show you how big the universe. So it is Allah who can create something so big that is not measurable. And He is who can create something so small that is not measurable. And at the same time, He is the owner of these creations. So these are the two names, Al-Khaliq and Malik. But what is Al-Mudabbir, the controller? This is the things that we don't pay attention much. When it comes to the names of Allah, we know He is the creator, He is the controller, He is the sustainer, but we don't know how He controlling His creation. Here is the one. So in order to control, you need some set of legislation, rules and regulation. So some of the rules and regulation, auto control or fixed legislation, we call this at a fit, and the other one is free will control. This is related to the rights of the creations. So, for example, I'm giving an examples of fitra. What is fitra? Like you see, there is a nucleus, and around the nucleus, you see neutron and proton is running. And if you take examples of our planet, sun is in the middle, and all the planets are moving around it. So these are fitra, man. Okay, fitra, we are looking at the skies, but fitra is in your body as well. We have 20 trillion cells in our body. It has nucleus, it has cytoplasm. They're moving. It is because of the auto control or fitra given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there are other part of the control which I'm saying free will control, that is related to the rights of the creations. And here is an example. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed Adam in the heaven, there are two creations. One is the tree, the other was Adam. So Allah set a rule. What kind of rules? The Adam, you can live in the paradise, but do not approach the tree. Maybe if you approach the tree, you are violating the rights of tree. So Adam was given a free will that you should not approach the tree. That is called the free will control. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave us some free will control, is up to us. So whatever I say so far about the Rabb, rest of them you have nothing to do. He is the creator, He is the Malik, and He is the owner, He is the auto controller. We have no control over it. We have only one control, which is free will control. Allah has given some free will. So what I'm saying, boys, whatever you do, all the ibadah, 5 pillars of Islam, 6 pillars of Iman, if you bring them together, its ultimate purpose is to know the rights of the creations or establish the rights of the creation. It is not only the human being, it includes the other creations as well. Therefore, we have thousands of legislation, rules given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to violate the rights of other creations. That is the important part of Rububiyyah. As I said, we have no control over the creation, we have no control over Malik, we have no control over the auto control, we have only control over the free will control or the control by choice. That is what we need to pay attention, boys. So, a quick summary of what I discussed today. One of the names of Allah is Ar-Rabb, and I try to define you what kind of creator He is. That is impossible to sometimes imagine. We only can imagine based on what He revealed, but there are many creations yet to be revealed. And whatever revealed, we can say He is the owner of all the creations. And the last one I said Al-Mudabbir, which is here the controller. He controls his creation by two ways. One is auto control or fixed legislation or rules and regulation. The other is free will control, which is related to the rights of the creations. So I'm done. I'm asking Safat Jahangir, Uncle, can you give a quick summary of whatever we discussed? And I'm going to ask the others as well after you.
Okay. So what we did today essentially was first we discussed the modes of measurement. How do you measure something? So yeah, there's different ways you can measure something, and it depends on what you're measuring. For example, if you're measuring someone's height, you can use tape measure or um, a wooden ruler or a massive ruler, these kind of stuff. But when it comes to something that's massive, such as the distance between the moon and the Earth, we can't use a ruler because it's too big for the ruler to measure. So we have to use a laser. Same thing for the distance between the sun and the Earth. We have to use the Pythagoras theorem because we can't use anything tangible to measure the distance. So we have to resort to techniques. But when it comes to the concept of measuring the universe is constantly expanding, as it's mentioned in the Quran and how Hubble has proved using his telescope. So the universe is constantly expanding. And the size of the universe is that it is like too big to measure. So it's constantly expanding, meaning that it is impossible to measure. So that's where the definition comes in. How big is too big? It is too big when it becomes impossible to measure. And we can apply the same principle when it's too small. So how small is too small? It's when it is too small to measure. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Rabb of the universe. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created this universe. And how do we know that the name Rabb associates with the universe or one world? It is because in Surah Al-Fatiha Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says Allah is Rabbul Alameen. Rabbul Alameen. So these these two words are associated with each other in the first chapter of the Quran. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Rabbul Alameen. He's Lord, or that's the direct translation, of all worlds, including the universe. Now, how do we translate the word Rabb? Or how can we associate it with the universe? We can do it in three ways. The first way is Allah is Al-Khaliq. Allah created the universe. Allah created all of these things. Then there is Al-Malik or Al-Malik or Al-Malik. There's three names. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the owner of the universe. He owns everything within it. And then after this we have Al-Mudabbir. So the third of three names is Al-Mudabbir. He is the controller. Now Al-Mudabbir can be branched out into two different ways. You have the auto control, and that is the fixed legislation. Where can we see this? We can see this in some of the creations and in the fitra that we can see. For example, the atoms. You have the nucleus in the middle, and then the electrons that orbit around it. And the electrons are moving around the center of the atom. Same thing. The Earth is moving around the sun. The sun is moving around the Milky Way galaxy. It's moving around the middle of the Milky Way galaxy. And everything else in this world is moving around something. And we have 20 trillion cells in our body. And every single one of these cells has a cytoplasm and a nucleus. And all of the cells all of the things inside of the cells are moving in a circular motion. So this is where we can see the fitra. This is the fixed legislation. This is the auto control. Now there is a second type of al-mudabbir, of control that Allah has, and that is the free will, the free choice. And that is how we have the freedom of choice. And that is the control over the rights of the other creations. And that is the second form of al-mudabbir.
Wow, mashallah, mashallah. And I gave the examples of Adam and the tree, right? Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah. how
Very good.
Adam alayhi salam violated the rights of the tree.
MashaAllah, very good. So Ryan, did you learn anything new today? No, easily. No?
Yeah,
What did you learn?
I learned about I learned that I already know this. Never mind.
Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Abdullah Rashid,
Yeah.
Abdullah Rashid, did you learn anything new today? Not really. No?
It did.
Okay. What did you learn? Can you give me a quick summary so that Ryan knows it?
So I learned about so first he mentioned like I joined a little bit late. I had another class, but like I heard like mainly what he said. So he said that at the start he said that we like the universe like
Mm,
it's constantly expanding. So then
mm,
and then he mentioned like how big is too big.
mm, mm,
And something that's too big is something that cannot be measured
mm.
anymore.